Hello once again, friend. My name is Annika, and I'm sitting here deciding whether or not I should try something new. And I'm speaking a little quiet because my daughter and my partner is sleeping, so I'm trying to keep it quiet. But this is what I'm trying to decide whether or not I should do. If I should use these gouaches to make this piece. It's my palette, and I've been trying out. I like them, but I'm not really sure how to use them yet. But I'm thinking I will give it a go, because this is for Anna, who is the last person I need to make the prices for the giveaway I had. And so I'm doing Little Red Riding Hood for her and the wolf, and they're supposed to go together, so that's why I'm planning on doing them at the same time. So, but I'm not really sure, but I think I will start the base of the drawing with my watercolors, which are my Winsor and Newton, and then I will try these, because if this fails I could always trace this again and try to do it again. So I think I will give that a try. So yes. So here we are in the future, and when I'm recording this it's the 1st of June, and I did these 2 paintings in April, so it's a little bit of a jump between them. So I kind of forgotten a little bit what I did and all that, but I will try my best to talk a little bit about my first impression of using gouache. And yes, and first I did say in the previous clip that I wanted to do the base in watercolors, but I decided that I didn't know how they would react with each other. I know that you can use them together, but since it was my first time and this was something that I was giving away, I didn't want to risk doing something stupid. And I had already mentioned that if I screwed up I could always retrace the image again, but I kind of didn't want to do that. So I used only gouache, and in the end I do add some colored pencil on top of them to get some textures and details in places, but the majority of the paintings are gouache. So I started with doing the backgrounds first, because I wanted them to feel like they were from the same place, and I thought that the best way to do that would be doing them at the same time, because mixing colors was a little bit difficult. When I did the background, at least the first bit, I used wet paint, but as it dried it was a little bit more difficult to mix larger amounts of color. I found out that it dries pretty quickly, and I don't know how to use gouache, if you're supposed to use it wet only or how to use it when it's dry. I found that it was a little bit difficult mixing a larger amount of color when it was dry. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but it was a little bit tricky. But I didn't want to wipe the paint off, because that seemed very wasteful. So the first portion is done with wet gouache, but the rest is pretty much done with dry. And I tried my best to make it work. Yeah. Since I only had red, blue and yellow, and also white and black, I needed to mix my colors, which was a good experience, but also very frustrating, because I found it difficult to know how much of the color that I needed. And I have encountered the same problems when I'm working with watercolors. It's very difficult when you're mixing a specific color to know how much of it you need, if that makes sense. So, turns out I had to learn how to mix browns because I used a lot of browns and greens in this picture, and greens are pretty easy to mix. It was just blue and yellow with some variations, but browns, because I'm not used to mixing browns, because when I paint in watercolors I have browns available, and when I have in the past painted with acrylics it was the same thing. I did already have browns, and so I haven't really mixed browns before, not in a very long time at least. I do think we did it in school, but it was a very long time ago and I don't remember. But I had to look up some videos, and if I remember and if I can find it, I will link it in the description. But basically I found out that if you mix the colors opposite each other in the color wheel, for example orange and blue, purple and yellow, green and red, you get a brown. And you can also mix orange and black to get a brown. And I also found out that it didn't occur to me, but it's better to mix a little bit of the darker color into the lighter color. But I found out that after I had done a lot of this painting, but that's something I am taking with me. So I thought that it could be useful for someone if you don't have very much experience in mixing colors. So the color mixing was a little bit difficult. I did like that it was a little bit opaque. I liked and I didn't like that it was wettable on the paper, because I liked that it was, but it was also difficult when you had a little bit too much water on your brush and you kind of destroyed what you had put on the page by lifting up the colors underneath. And I also found it difficult to know how to glaze, if that's the word. I'm not sure if that's the thing I'm after, or if that's the technical term for it. But when I'm working with watercolors, for example, I like to make an underpainting with all the shadows first. I often do use purples to kind of all over where there's shadow, so that it's a little bit more the same, coherent, I think that's the word. But with this, I wanted to do that, but I didn't know how to add it without going over it so that it didn't show. So that's something I need to figure out, if that's a thing or if I need to think in another way. But that's just an observation, and so that's a thing. Also, I mentioned that I like that it has a matte finish. I think that's very nice, but I'm not sure how you should protect them. From what I understand, it's a good thing to frame them under glass with a matte, but I'm not sure if you supposed to spray it with something like a varnish or a fixative. This one I didn't do anything with, because like I said, I didn't know what to do, and I know that with fixative it's often that the colors get more dark. So, and I have seen a few videos where the persons have used workable fixative. I'm not sure what's the difference between regular and workable. There's a lot of things I don't know, but I do enjoy trying out new things. So if you know, please leave it in the comments for me and everyone else who is curious to find out more. And I have done a few gouache paintings in my watercolor moleskin sketchbook, and I want to continue to learn in that. So, and I've actually finished another sketchbook, yay for me! So I started a new one, and this is a little bit of a bit bigger one, but I'm keeping the watercolor moleskin as a separate thing, because I don't have time to do work with gouache or watercolors every day. So yeah. Also, I've been doing a lot of aceos lately. I haven't mentioned that anywhere why, but basically I want to stock up on original art in my Etsy store. So I also want to mention that a few will be available in a little shop called Café med hantverk bredvid, and it's located in Östergötland in a little village, I guess you can call it, a little community called Tjällmo. And it's right beside the church in that little village, and that's actually where I'm from originally. I no longer live there, but I still have a spot in that, because most of the artists and crafters in the shop is local or has some kind of connection with it. And there's a lot of different things. We have different crafts with wool, there's woodcraft, and we have someone who does concrete statue core things, I guess you can call it. We have someone who knits, and we also have two lovely ladies who does decoupage, and there's jewelry and honey, and also all sorts of jams, and yeah, there's a lot of different things. So if you're in the neighborhood over the summer, do check it out. Hopefully it will be open for years to come, because it's been open for at least 11 years. It might be more, but I have been a part of it since 2007, so next year it will be 10 years. So I actually have a lot of things to thank this place for. It's one of the biggest reasons why I continued doing art in the first place. When I sold a few things that summer, it really motivated me to continue. And so hopefully we'll be open a few more years, because I was in a very bad place when I joined. I didn't have any meaning, and I think that by joining this little group I actually found a meaning both with doing art. I found it was fun to finish things so that it might sell. Of course, I make art mostly because I enjoy it very much, but it's an extra bonus to have in mind, and that in the end someone might like it enough to buy it. So that was a very big motivation, and it also helped me out in the rest of my life as well. It got me started, and I'm almost getting emotional because it's very dear to my heart, and I hope more people will find it. And if you're in the neighborhood, it's a good place to shop for gifts. And also we have a little cafe next to it, so you can get something to eat too, and it's all homemade. So now back to painting. I don't know if I have very much else to say. I do really enjoy gouache, and I will continue working with it. I am very tempted to buying some professional gouache. I'm kind of biting my fingers just to not do it, because I do have a lot of the Pebeo gouache left, but I really would like to try some Winsor & Newton gouache, or if I should go with Daler and Rowney. If anyone has tried them both, please let me know which one you prefer, because that might help me decide. At best, I would like to try them both so that I can get a feel for it myself, but it seems silly to buy too much. So yeah, but I'm tempted, but I haven't done it. I haven't done it yet, so we'll see. But I will probably be posting more gouache paintings along the way, so keep a lookout for that. Next week, depending on how this week goes, you might get either some ACO drawings that I have already made, or I might actually do a video where I talk about my style and the eye thing. I have promised this before, and I've been putting it off because I want to do a good job on it, but I feel like I'm getting a lot of questions about it, so I need to have that video up so I can refer people to it. So that's something that I have in mind, but it does really depend on how the week goes, because if you've seen my last video, you know that I have a little helper who, needs to be taken care of, so I might not have time, but if I do, I will try to make that. I also want to mention that I have a lot of new aceos up in my Etsy shop. I will probably have a print of this available in my shop as well, if you're interested in buying this. I guess it was a lot of non-gouache things in this video, but I hope you enjoyed it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Hejdå!